Hello there.
Hello there, troopers, and welcome back to General Economics Bunker. Thank you so much for joining me here on this fine Monday night. Ooh, man, we haven't done one of this in a little while, haven't we? Um, yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since we've done one of our super fun toy talks. That's right. It is a show where we like to talk about, you guessed it, toys. Very much so. As you know, I am a collector, toy collector, toy hunter, occasional toy reviewer. Not a very good one if you ask anybody that's ever watched any of my videos, but I do enjoy it. It's very, very fun. So every once in a while, I do like to just, talk about toys, really. Just zero in on a subject for the night and just kind of have fun. Um, so yeah, let's we think we're gonna do that tonight. I actually have a little bit of prepping to do for the convention that we got in a couple of days, so I figured, why not bring you along for the ride. But again, I hope that everybody's having a great, great Monday night. I hope that your weekend was amazing. I hope that you got plenty of rest, that you drank more than enough water, that you got some awesome food, supercharged for the week to come. And man, it's gonna be a week. Let me tell you that. In a good way, though. Um, we've been talking about it here quite a bit, but we got a great show on our hands starting from Thursday night. So um, ICC Con, the Imperial Commissary Collectors Con, happens this October. Right, tomorrow's October already. You believe that? Oof. And so it starts, pretty much the holiday season for me. Because, Halloween, kind of a holiday. And then we got Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And then we got Christmas. And then that's it. The year is done. You believe that? 2024 is yeah, pretty close to being done. We only got 3 months left, which is kind of crazy. And those months are gonna fly by the way. So if you got any New Year's resolution from last year that you didn't get to accomplish, I would say you might want to get started on that, like, yeah, like ASAP. Um, but we again, we have a great show on our hands coming this Thursday, all through the weekend up in Nashville, Tennessee. Plenty of our good friends are going to be out there. We're going to be having a blast. And speaking of toys, we're probably going to be seeing some awesome, awesome stuff. So stay tuned for that here on General Economics Bunker. It's going to be pretty fun. I'm sure we're going to see some crazy stuff. I hope not to spend too much, but hey, who knows? Depending on what we come across. So, for all those of you who are going, I hope that you're started packing. See, and that's funny because I actually started packing, but I started packing um, my 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 electronics bag. So chargers, battery packs, USB cables, SSDs, all of that stuff. I was actually doing that last night because I tend to not pack till pretty much the night before, which is fine for clothes because I mean, let's be honest, I don't need much attention to my style. But then I always end up forgetting that one charger, that one cable, that one accessory for the phone that I absolutely need during the show. So yeah, I'm trying to be better at that. So last night I spent like, I don't know, like a solid like 45 minutes, just going over the list of stuff that I know I need, packing it into a little electronics pouch. Really, that's like a dedicated pouch, um, that I'm putting together, so I hopefully don't forget any stuff or any important stuff. Anyway, I'm always gonna forget something, but toothbrush I can deal with. But if I forgot my hard drive or something like that, that's tougher to come by. So yeah, I was actually doing that last night. I think I'm pretty much done. I only need a couple of things that I know that I have in front of me, but I use them daily. So once Wednesday comes around, I'm just gonna grab those couple of things, put them in the bag, and be done with it. So yeah, I hope that I didn't overlook anything. Of course, tomorrow probably still give it another glance over, see that I really didn't forget everything. Um, but yeah, let me know what are your packing habits. You guys pack like a week in advance? I've never been able to do that. Like I said, not even like 2 days in advance, honestly. Now when it's a trip for me, like if I'm just going by myself. If it's the family, then that's a whole other story. I do tend to start packing, before, or at least putting together, you know, in a common pile what we know we're gonna take. Um, Again, we always end up forgetting something, but try to minimize that. So yeah, excuse me. Whew, that came out of nowhere. So yeah, I'll be traveling on Thursday morning, pretty early actually. My flight's before 7 a.m. and I'll be out there Thursday all through Sunday night because my flight is pretty late. I fly back like at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. around there. So yeah, it's gonna be a long weekend. Very much looking forward to it because yeah, it's gonna be a great show, and the people attending the show, are even better. So we're gonna be, meeting up with a bunch of friends from YouTube, friends that we actually met at the previous ICC, which is awesome to say. I've only gone once, and so I know it's gonna be a great experience to go back, and it's gonna be a different mode. We talked about it here before, um, but very very much looking forward to it. Pretty excited about it. I do have to wrap up work, a lot faster this week because I only got a couple of days left in the work week for me, and then it's off on vacation. So it's gonna be interesting, but it's definitely gonna be fun. All right, so I appreciate you, Bunker Bunch, for joining, and I already got some comments here, so I'm gonna jump here into the chat real quick. We got our brother Elijah Flags saying, "Good evening, Gerald. What's going on, man? Appreciate you joining, man. We'll see you in a couple of days." Antonio, what's up, bro? Hope all is well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just tired as usual, I guess. I'm yawning too. Yeah, man. But you put in the hard work. Me, I'm just old. Hello, what's going on, Rolando? Appreciate you joining, brother. Thank you. Rolando saying hi to Flex and Antonio. Rolando says Flex. McClunky Cast saying, hey, hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining. I just saw your story on Instagram just before coming live. So it looks like somebody's gonna meet one handsome Hayden Christensen, huh? That's gonna be pretty fun. I'm glad for you. Marta, what's going on? Thanks so much for joining the stream. Appreciate you. So yeah, guys, I got a few things to do here um, before we take off for ICCC, and I figured, like I said, I bring you along um, because we're actually gonna be meeting Timothy Zahn out there in the show. We've met him before, actually, but it was kind of random. Not random. I take that back. I was very unprepared for it. So this is back in Star Wars Celebration, my very first one, 2019 in Chicago. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. All right. I was going by myself. I didn't really know anybody that was there. Uh, so I was just running around like aimlessly. I did buy a couple of autographs and photo ops beforehand. But aside from that, I just went in. I was like, you know what? This is my first time. It's a little bit too much. So I'm just going to try and enjoy it. Right. And I did. I enjoyed it quite a bit, of course. 2019 in Chicago was amazing. But I did get to miss also a lot of stuff, like panels and some activities that I read about or saw, later. I'm like, I was right there. I didn't see that, or I didn't know that was happening. Anyway, one of those was actually that Timothy Zahn was there. So I managed to meet him, got an autograph from him. And he was very cool, very, very, very sweet man. Um, but I wish I would have been a little bit more prepared, right? So I know he's gonna be at this one. So I'm taking uh this little guy to get signed by him. And we talked about him a little while ago here in the channel, but I'm taking the very first Thrawn. So this is the Power of the Force 2. This is the expanded universe line. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, this one is based, and I can show you here. If you look at the back, from the Heir to the Empire novel, right? Now remember, there was a comic book adaptation of it, and this is more where this guy comes from. If you notice the image, um, but of course, Heir to the Empire is was created by Timothy Zahn. So I'm taking this to Nashville. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in a protector, right? So that I can transport it, and of course, like the name says, protect it. So I'm getting this signed by him. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see the rest of them. So this line is, I call it like a subline, because again, this is part of the Power of the Force 2. As you can see, the green card, right? Um, but within that, they created this one, the expanded universe, which consists of 9 figures. We see back here. There we go. And those were based off of some of the biggest expanded universe works at the time. Now, mind you, this guy is coming from like 90. I can tell right now. This is from 98. So some of those comic books came out like 92, 93. The books from Timothy Zahn were around there too. So this is about 4 or 5 years after those came out. So there wasn't that much of to the expanded universe, not yet anyway. Um, and so basically, this collection uh, covers the books like this one, right, with Heir to the Empire, the comic books like Dark Empire, and video games like Jedi Knight. So they actually pulled a pretty nice selection. And so what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna put this guy in a case, um, so that we can transport him safely. But we're gonna talk about the other figures too, because they're actually pretty good as far as Power of the Force 2 goes. But I got some more people here joining in the chat, so let me catch up real quick. McClunky saying, dude, I can't wait to meet the chosen one. Bro, it's gonna be awesome. I got to meet him technically still last month, and yeah, no, he's something else, dude. Hello there, says Janine. What's going on, first sister? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Hey, General, what's up? Says Chris the Man Collects. Whom Janine is the biggest number one fan of. Elijah saying hi to the first sister. First and saying Flex, Rolando McClunky, MM, and Chris and Antonio saying hi to everybody. And hello there, General. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in. Janine, you said you're not going to be able to make it, right, to ICCC? Because if that's the case, I got to mail you something, all right? So yeah. Let's, you know what? Now that I look at it, it's a little bit dusty. So full disclosure, all of these guys have been in storage for the most part. So Got a little microcloth here, so we're just gonna give him a little wipey to get it, rid of some of that dust. Now, isn't that premium content? You see me cleaning my figures. That's what everybody wants to see. I know people would pay to see this, but you're getting here for free. All right, that's about as good as it's gonna get. It's not too bad. Actually, the bubble is pretty clear, if I do say so myself. Um, for this being what, like, there we go. For this being like 25 years old, I think it's pretty good. So I do have a whole bunch of protectors here. From our friends from Evo Retro. Check them out. I do have an affiliate link with them that it's in the that it's on my link tree. So if you're gonna buy something from them, I would appreciate it if you do so through my link. So I bought this. This wasn't sent to me. I'm not at that level yet. So I got a bunch of protectors here, and we're gonna use one of those for Thrawn so that we have him nice and safe for transport to ICCC. So these guys come in 2 halves, as you would expect. And these I bought like a little while back when they had a sale. And I've been meaning to do this. I got plenty of figures, by the way, that need to sort of be protected, Oh, I brought 2. Oh, these ones are tight together. All right, here we go. And these are like vacuum sealed. Okay, here we go. Just made a bunch of noise. But so basically, you get the front portion and you get the back and you clamshell them, right? This is actually 2 backs. All right, so we're gonna protect here our good old Grand Admiral so that he can make the trip, safely to Nashville with me. I'm thinking I might take a few figures also, maybe to sell or trade out there. We'll see. All right, so here it is. And then we just put the little cover on it. And make sure those snap in. All right. So here it is. All right, all nicely protected. So we're gonna take him like this, right? So Timothy Zahn can autograph him. It's gonna be pretty cool. Like I said, I've told the story here before, but I'll tell it very, very quickly. This is the 3rd time that I have these figures in my collection. The previous 2 times they've been stolen from me. So I've lost these figures twice before. So this is the 3rd time. They are the line that I've rebought the most, or that I've had the most of. This was years and years ago. Again, I told the story here. You know what I'm noticing? I forgot. Yeah, I totally forgot to take off so this, I think this comes with like a thin protective layer, like a little plastic that's like attached to it. So I forgot to do that. That's right. We're not gonna worry about that. But yeah, so Evo Retro guys, check them out. They got great products. They do some really good acrylics as well. And like I said, if you decide to maybe buy something, do so through my affiliate link, which I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so we're gonna get this signed. We'll see where he wants to sign. Actually, now that I think about it, what do you guys think? So the bubble is pretty nice, right? It's nice and clear. I think there's plenty of space on the card. Would be nice to have a signature here, or maybe even like down here. Next to like the image. I don't know. We'll see what he does. I don't mind either way. I think if I had a preference, maybe on the card. Yeah, maybe on the card will look a little bit nicer. But yeah, so this is going to Nashville with me. So very very excited to get to see Timothy again. I got to meet him back in 2019 at Chicago Celebration. All right, so whoa, all right, chat is on fire. Do. Janine saying no, sad. My press pass is going to waste. Sigh. That's all right, sister. It's always next year. Yeah, I um, I need to mail you something, but it probably won't be till next week at this point, if I'm being honest. Waste, yeah. Wow, says first sister. McClunky Cat says you need a protector for that Thrawn. Scotty says hello there. What's going on, Scott? Appreciate you checking this out, man. Thank you. Never mind, says McClunky. Evil Retro is great. Yeah, they do some pretty good stuff. Plenty of my acrylics are also from them, and I like their stuff. Hot Scott, that's right, Elijah. Antonio saying hi to Rolando. Elijah saying hi to Scotty. I kind of like that better actually. Hi to Scotty. That sticks. What's up, Jed and Anderson? Antonio, Jeff, Star Wars Addict 77 saying hello there. What is going on, brother? Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you, thank you. General, were you going to ask him to sign on the bubble? Oh, I was just talking about that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm kind of leaning more towards the card, but I don't really mind either way. Elijah saying hi to Jeff. White paint pen. Yeah, you know what? I had a couple of those and I can't find them now that you mention it. For the most part, these guys, have a nice selection of pens, but tomorrow I need to try again to find it, and I'll take one. Flag says Jeff. Rip Roger Watts. Yeah, that is nuts. I agree with Flex. Jeff says Janine. Antonio saying white pen. Go pack for ICC, bro. What did I just say, bro? You can't just come in and give me crap about it. You didn't hear the first part. I already got started packing. You gotta get the pen that I use for autos. Send me a link. Send me your affiliate link. I'm debating. I have a plaque for Billy D to sign, but I want a photo too. But the price is man. Yeah, so basically if you do that, that's what, 600 bones around there. Yeah, right? Because it's 300, around 300 for a picture, around 300 for photo op. So it's a pretty penny. It is a pretty penny. LMAO, Tony says flex. Flag says Tony. Janine says, I worry about oil-based pens. White Posca paint pen. Ooh, all right. That sounds pretty technical. I'll go with that. Just prime it beforehand. Got it. So yeah, we're taking that, like I said, to get signed by Timothy Zahn. But also, from that same book, we got this one. So, and this one I always like because this one fit the aesthetic of the figure better to the actual like character. But from Heir to the Empire, we got the Space Trooper as well. So pretty cool, kind of a menacing look, right, to him. Also, kind of funny that they put him kind of like packaged sideways, right? If you notice, for the most part, especially on Part of the Force 2, they're all facing forward. This guy's at an angle. So it's very cool. Again, also from the novel, right? Empire novel. But again, the aesthetics are a little bit more because of the comic book based on the novel. So what do you think? I like this one. Like I said, it's pretty original. If you see, he's got that little panel. It's like a booster that pops off from his arm. So I don't know if they put him into this like position to like showcase that, but still pretty cool. He does have, I'm trying to show it there, a little bit of a jetpack right there. So yeah, also again from the expanded universe, based on the novels by Timothy Zahn, and pretty cool. Space Trooper. Also, I forgot to mention that this packaging in particular for this subline, if you notice, it's got like a thicker cardboard, and that's because the packaging folds out to be a little diorama, which is very cool. So this one, like I said, it's not even, I don't know if the camera can catch it, but it's not even like the regular white like there was for the Stormtrooper. It's got a slight like tint to it. And it's been like this since it came out. Like, this isn't just like my copy of it. So pretty good shape. Also very nice clear bubble. We'll put him in a protector as well. Might as well since we're here. So let's just go ahead and do that very quickly. So there's one figure in this collection, actually maybe two figures now that I think about it, two figures in this subline that might actually be too big for these protectors. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check. They are bigger figures, bigger bubbles. The card is the same, but the bubbles are a little bit bigger. So we'll see. So there it is. Our Space Trooper, also from Heir to the Empire. Also, from the same, from Heir to the Empire, I do have her, and I can't find her, and it's kind of pissing me off. But there's George Lucas's favorite character to never have been created, Mara Jade. So Mara Jade came from the works of Timothy Zahn as well. There's a figure for her, right? There was actually a figure for her for Black Series made not that long ago. So check that out if you haven't. I have the figure. I know I have it. I just couldn't find it, which again, it's kind of not nice because I found all of the other ones except for that one. So now it's bugging me, of course. So, but just so you guys know that from the Heir to the Empire, there is one more figure. Okay, now this one is technically from a comic book. Sorry, technically from a video game. And this is the one that I'm saying this might be a little bit of an issue with that protector. We'll see right now. Because it is a nice chunky figure. So from the Dark Forces video game, we got the Dark Trooper. That's right. Many years before Moff Gideon um, was using the Dark Troopers, this is kind of where they came from. So Dark Forces, from the Jedi Knight game. Here it is. These were definitely tough to beat. So it is a nice chunky figure, as you can see. Again with that cool, menacing, kind of original look to him. It comes with his weapon the same way he did on the video game, which was cool. So again, a lot of these have like new/unique items to them. And I always wish that Kenner/Hasbro, right, would have continued with this line. They only did this once for years. This was all there was for Expanded Universe. It wasn't until like the early 2000s, maybe a little bit later, that they started coming up with some more Expanded Universe characters, especially um, in their comic book package. Those 2-packs. There was some great, entries into the 30th anniversary as well. But mostly, not a whole lot of like dedicated line, to the Expanded Universe. So I think this might be like, I'm pretty sure this is the only one that's got the title Expanded Universe to them. But like I said, I kind of wish they would have made more because they were pretty original. I don't know how successful they were because kids probably didn't really know the comic books or didn't really know the books, right? The novels. I didn't. I knew of them, but I had not read them. But I knew the video games. I love these video games, by the way. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? This is a big boy. We'll see if this thing fits. But before that, let me catch up here with the chat. Yep, says Janine. Jeff saying Amazon 1 day ship also. Yeah, after this, I'm definitely ordering one. Yo, we got Daniel from the Legacy of Nerd. What's going on, brother? Dude, incredible live stream last night. You pretty much got the Avengers of Power Rangers content creators all under your banner. So congrats on that. Sup, Bunker Bunch, he says. Tony says, that's a good idea. Find Mary Jade figure to get signed by him. I'm gonna do that at ICC. Yeah, like I said, I have it. It's just it's I thought I knew exactly where it was. Obviously I didn't. And of course, it's the only one that I can't find. So he's only $10 for auto. Yeah, I know, dude. It's kind of nuts, right? Kind of nuts. I want to say he was back in Celebration, Tony. Do you remember how much he was charging back in Celebration 2019? I remember he was doing the book for free, right? If you bought the book, um, he he would sign it, and that's it. But what was he charging for actual autos? Because I didn't get the no, I take that back. I did get a book from him, but I got something else signed, and I paid for it obviously, but I don't remember how much that was. Do you remember, Tony, how much that was? Um, wow, haven't seen that one before. Yeah, it's kind of funky because again, they're not really rare. Uh, Even right now, you can probably get all of them for I don't know, like $100, $150 maybe for all of them. They're really not, but I love them. Like I said, I've had the whole line, or again subline, right? I've had all of these twice over. This is the third time, um, because again, you heard the story. They were stolen from me, so I've been rebuying them slowly, very slowly this last time around. So yeah, let me see. Let me check if this one is actually gonna fit. All right, let's see. We got a protector here. Oof, I don't know, guys. I don't know. This thing is pretty thick. Ah, dang, barely. I don't know if you can see that. That's almost right to the edge of the protector. There's almost no space between the bubble and the protector. There's a little bit, but I'm saying that is tight. But hey, it fits. So great. Since we have him here, let's just climb up and leave him protected there. Now I want to display these guys, of course, now that I have them all together. These have been in like separate boxes for, I don't know, for a couple years at this point. Been through a couple of moves, when I bought one, I tried to put them together, but you know how that goes. So there it is. All right, Dark Trooper, again, OG Dark Trooper. Like, so don't tell me you know about Dark Troopers from Moff Gideon till you've played this game. Again, these are from the 90s. I think these were made in 98. Yeah, 98. But the game was what, like 95, 96? Somebody correct me in the chat. Then from that same video game, one of my favorite characters ever, one that I still hope against hope that maybe just maybe one day they'll actually make him canon, especially now that they might make Cal Kestis canon, like in life. Or I take that back, Cal Kestis is already canon. That he will have a live action debut at some point. I wish they would do the same for this guy. I doubt he's gonna get any more video games. Most people probably don't even remember him, but I hope that he gets a little cameo. He gets the live action treatment. So the hero from the Dark Forces and Jedi Knight video games, Cal Katarn. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, that is a terrible picture. Terrible. But that's all there was. At this point, he hadn't really come out in comic books. The newer games, did a little bit better at portraying him. There's a newer figure of Cal Katarn that um, he's actually paired up with a Yuuzhan Vong, which is awesome. I love that comic pack. It's displayed back there. But yeah, so this one is not great. But this is all we had for years and years. For like, I want to say like around 10 years. This was the only Kyle Katarn. I would love this in both, honestly, Black Series, Vintage Collection. I think Vintage Collection would actually do a really good job with this guy. So yeah, as you can see, bit of a kid bashed figure, but original enough. But again, that's not a great picture. So the diorama is kind of cool because it's coming off of like an Imperial shuttle. So there it is, Cal Katarn from the Dark Forces video game. Only thing I never understood is why they didn't include a lightsaber with this dude. If this is if he technically was a Jedi Knight. So I never really understood why they didn't include it. He does, one of these weapons is a little bit original. This one to the game. I think this other one is a reused blaster. Kind of does look like the one from the game, but I think they did a better job with this one. So again, there was actually a lot of like original stuff put into these figures, and again, I just wish they would have continued it. Uh, but I always love these characters. I always love this line. By far, I think my favorite subline to come out of Power of the Force 2. Not a very popular line for sure, but one that I hold near and dear because this is what was on pegs, when I first started getting into Star Wars. So whenever I would go to Walmart, Target, whatever, there was plenty of Power of the Force, on pegs. Some of them were already discounted, which was great because I really didn't have it, nowhere near as much money for toys, right? So when some of these were being clearanced out, or 2 for 1 or whatever, dude, that was me all day. We would get them for $2, $3, $5, whatever it was back then. Um, so again, I know that people really, really don't like Power of the Force 2, but I'm okay with it just because to me that's actually nostalgia. Just like for many people, the original Kenner line is the nostalgia, right? For me, these are, because again, these are when I first started noticing Star Wars. Put this guy in a protector as well. Might as well, since we go through the whole set. So there we go. All right. There it is. Okay, so from the comic book realm, um, specifically from the Dark Empire comic books, which are great, by the way. If you never read them, Dark Empire 2, also really, really good. I highly, highly recommend that you check those stories out. Again, that was, that those stories managed to keep Star Wars alive through the 90s when there was nothing going on, really. The special editions had not come out. Remember, those came out in 97. The prequels definitely had not come out. That barely made it into the 90s, right, with 99. Um, so these stories were what fans had to like cling to. So the other big figure that yeah, this one should fit, is this guy here, the Imperial Sentinel. Again, from the Dark Horse comic books, Dark Empire. And check it out. I thought they did a great job with this guy because he, the um the style of the comic books didn't allow for a whole lot of detail when it came to the colors. So when I saw the figures, I was like, oh, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, so these are like the how do you call it? They're kind of like the souped up version of Imperial Guards, right? At least in the comic books. So Kind of cool. Again, this is a bigger bubble. It's got a lot of space to it, so I don't know why. It is a bigger figure, but not by much. Not like the Dark Trooper was. So yeah, very cool. Again, great set of comic books. Um, you could probably find them cheap now, as a trade paperback. I think they put all of them together. So there was Dark Empire 2, and what was that last one? Empire's End. What was the name of it? Ah, dang it. I forget. Somebody correct me here in the chat. Jeff saying, damn, he barely fits in the card. Yeah, dude, it's a big fig. Don't remember, says Tony. That's why I get plaques. They all fit in my bags, no issue. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, plaques are fine, but I'm more about the toys. So if I can take the toy and get it signed, I'd rather do that. Uh Mike Skywalker saying, hello there, from Kansas City. What's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Um, but yeah, plaques are totally, totally portable. Very convenient. Obviously, you can have a bunch of them, just in your bag, in your backpack, and they will not take much space, and they look great. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, at least for Timothy's end, these are um, what sort of connected me to his work. When I was a kid. I know, Tony. Plaques are better. There, I said it. That's what you want to hear. There you go. Hey, I promise you Saturday. Hoping to see you next one. Yeah, man. I was out there I wasn't there for a big, a big while, but I thought I was gonna see you out there. I was like, dude, this is Mario's jam right here. I know you were out there for sure. I saw your pictures afterwards, but yeah, dude, I think we missed each other by probably like a few minutes. It was a good show. It was a great turnout, which is awesome. So this past weekend here in San Antonio, we had uh, MonsterCon, which is great event, especially again as we're ramping up into Halloween, um, season, which has been kind of weak, this year. So it was a very cool event. The turnout was great. Like I said, a lot of people. It's been a long time since I've seen that many people at the Ingram Mall. So I'm glad that it's working out. But how do you call it? Um, yeah, I missed you. I'm sure you were out there for a little while, but I don't know. We were there for like an hour and a half. We weren't there like super super long time. Um, but yeah, I stopped by with our friends from Hodgepodge Tastic over on the second floor. Now, they were just having their ribbon cutting ceremony that morning, so they just opened up their new location there. I stopped by and said hi, and we checked out the show. Um, Jeff saying, I like toy sign, especially when people don't get the original vintage card signed. Yeah, 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 for sure. Um, some of them will have rules, about signing like actual vintage cards. And you've all heard my experience with Ian McDermott, the Emperor. Um, but yeah, it is. With Timothy, it's $10, right? So you can get as many signatures as you want. So it's very very affordable. Um, with like Billy D, that I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool actually to have it on an actual vintage card signed. Um, get him to autograph it. Again, he's one of the few OGs left, right? So with an actual vintage toy, so I think that would make sense. But man, it's kind of expensive. But then again, it is one of those things that probably won't happen for a little while again. So you definitely want to jump on it if you can. All right. So also from the Dark Empire comics, uh 30 some years before um before the Rise of Skywalker did it, we already had a reborn emperor. So this is clone Emperor Palpatine, and the the plot, right, of these comic books was that Palpatine kept transferring its consciousness onto clone bodies. He did it right after the Battle of Endor, so he didn't, perish during that one. Um, but the clones are um, the clones are weak in the sense that he's too powerful, right? So all of that dark side energy basically makes him decay faster, which again we saw in Rise of Skywalker. So when I knew that Palpatine was gonna come back, I was really really hoping they were gonna try to do it differently. They didn't. It's basically the same thing, just not as cool because in the comic books, as you can see, he was working on having younger clones like this one, right? So that he could have a much younger body, to put his power in. So that's basically where he's coming from. He kept transferring his consciousness over and over. So that's how he found a way to cheat death, right? So it wasn't like immortal, but for practical purposes, pretty much, right? I mean, he definitely didn't have to die. Um, but in this comic book specifically, while he was having trouble, trying to find how to stabilize his power within the clones, he got himself an apprentice. One Luke Skywalker that turned to the dark side. So, interesting figure. If you notice, this goes against pretty much all of the Power of the Force 2 Luke Skywalker figures. They were super bulky. This one is slimmer, by comparison at least. And I always did like sort of the effect that they gave it like into the arms. He's got a red lightsaber because again he did turn into the dark side. So there it is. So the plot here was that Luke found out that the Emperor had come back. He was, very strong, with many resources still from the Imperial fleet, including a new fleet of Imperial Devastators. Right? They were like world devastators, so they're not exactly like ships. They were like giant chewing monsters. Were kind of cool. Um, yes, very much. Again, very much the plot of Rise of Skywalker, but 30 some years before. So Luke decides to actually become Palpatine's disciple. So he turns into the dark side, and he does so because he's like, hey, we tried fighting him like outright, that didn't work. So I have to learn his secrets so that I can defeat him from within, which I always thought was a very, very interesting tactic because Luke was confident that he could pull himself back from the dark side after having learned, its secrets. So, uh, remember in the movies when Palpatine says, to understand the Force, you have to study all of it, not just, not just the light side, basically, right? Not just the pragmatic, view of the Jedi. Uh, that's kind of where this came from, Or actually, I take that back. This is where that came from because this was earlier. So Luke decides to explore the dark side of the Force to learn, uh, everything that Palpatine has to teach him, and he does become a lot more powerful, which is why people say, the Legends now, the expanded universe version of Luke, is kind of crazy because he has like crazy powers. Why? Because he managed to understand almost the entirety of the Force. So I always thought that was interesting. So this figure, it's it's like the continuation of what would happen, right? So this is, I like to call him Dark Side Luke, but technically he's like Dark Disciple Luke. So very interesting figure, like I said, very different from the Hulk, the He-Man type of looks that we were getting at that time. Pretty stylized, especially for this line. And again with a red saber, red like pale saber at that. It was kind of different from the previous ones. But as usual, the dark side is a little bit too strong, too seductive. And so it was up to Leia to step up, embrace her power in the light side of the Force and bring Luke back. Again, love this portrayal of Leia, blaster and lightsaber. Very, very cool. Also from the comic books, very good looking diorama, with that contrast. Those comic books are a trip. Um, and so even though she has like a reddish lightsaber, they were all kind of like that on the comic book. There was, like I said, there's a like a limited amount of color palette on those comic books, but it's really, really nice. So I really, really like this Leia. Like I said, this is the kind of like the first Leia we got, with a hint of the Force, right, or her being a Jedi. So again, she finally embraces her power in the Force, because before this she'd been playing a lot of politics, obviously, with the New Republic. Um, but once Palpatine comes back and they lose Luke, right? She's like, well, we got nobody, right? And she actually runs into this like old lady that turns out to be a Jedi, just caught up from the Force. And she's like, well, they still have you, like you're very powerful, like you're way more powerful than you realize, and you could tip the scales, right? And so she does. She embraces the light side of the Force, and um, of course, with the help of Han, Chewie, all of those guys, they go and rescue basically Luke, right? They pull him from the dark side. So that, and then they all together fight Palpatine. So really, what ends up happening is Palpatine makes Luke and Leia a lot more powerful. So very, very cool figure. Like I said, I love that this was like the first portrayal of Leia, embracing her power. And we all know she's very, very powerful, right? Um, we all know that there was even how do you call it? Um, Stories or even ideas about having her being the chosen one and not Luke, right? We got to see like a glimpse of that again in The Rise of Skywalker, which, to me that was kind of like a not great adaptation of some of this stuff that I've just been showing you. That again, it's been around for 30 some years. Um, because it was kind of like the same plot, but not as good. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but Palpatine is back in a clone body that's decaying. He's looking for a way to stabilize, his body, um, and we get to see that glimpse of when Luke and Leia are training, and we see that Leia was becoming, quite powerful, right? Maybe even more than Luke. So again, that's kind of, we had already seen that before. So that's why I love these figures. I'm not gonna say these are particularly great, figures, but man, they are awesome for Power of the Force 2, like standards. These are amazing. So expanded universe line, like I said, very, very cool. My favorite within Power of the Force 2. There's not that many. There was a few vehicles that were supposed to be based off of some concepts and technically some comic books. Let me see if I can find some pictures here. Um, me, you know, I never really liked them that much. Like the aesthetics were not that great. Let me show you here. Yeah, so check those out. Air speeder, cloud car, and speeder bike. So these were the only ones again from this expanded universe. I Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the designs, the aesthetics of them. Uh, the air speeder looks like a mushed up snow speeder. Um, the cloud car looks again kind of like one half of the Bespin, ship, and the speeder just I don't know. It looks like a recliner. It looks like a recliner with some turbines on it and a missile, of course. Um, so if you guys have these, then by all means, let me know if they're cooler than what they look. But I don't know. I was never really into them, so I don't know that I ever had any of these, to be honest. Maybe the speeder bike, but I can't remember, to be honest with you. I don't think I actively bought these at any time. And again, these are more based on the concepts, right? Which is a cool idea. It's just I think they could have chosen some of the cooler concepts to do the toys. Um, A for effort. They are original, that's for sure. So these guys, they're not really reusing a lot of the molds, right? They were put together kind of like for this line. So I don't know if somebody here knows the story of them. If these were just too expensive for Hasbro to design and build, and they didn't really sell well, and maybe that's why they decided to not continue with the line. I kind of wish they would have. Like I said, it was years and years after we saw another expanded universe character, in toy form. So for many years, this is all we had, just these in the back. So let me know what you think about these. Did you know all of them? Do you have all of them? Like I said, I do, but of course, like Tony said, I should definitely take Mara Jade, and I can't find her. So um, odds are there's probably gonna be a Mara Jade there at ICC, because Timothy Zahn gonna be there. So I expect there to be one. So maybe I'll just pick one up and have it signed there. But it's kind of pissing me off because I have one. I know I have one. But anyway, besides the point. So yeah, very cool to I finally brought them all together, right? Yes, except Mara Jade. And so I'm gonna try to find a little bit of room here in the bunker to display them because this is one of my favorite lines. I don't care that the figures are not that great technically. To me, they're still very original. Um, they were way more original than anything they were doing back then with Power of the Force 2. Um, Especially again the aesthetics of it, right? Like trying to mimic the He-Man line, all of that stuff that we all know and love. These guys, they took a chance. They adapted from comic books, from novels, from video games, right? And again, I just kind of love that they do actually say expanded universe, right? That's how I knew all of those stories for years, right? Until the mouse came in and made those legends. Now I don't have a problem with the name. It's just that's not what I grew up with. I grew up with expanded universe. That's how I knew again all of those cool stories, video games, etc. Hey, what's going on, Figure Trap? What's going on, Saga? Good to see you, brother. Imperial Sentinels, Dark Troopers, and Space Troopers. I wish I was collecting Star Wars figures when this live was on pegs, bro. Seriously. And like I said, it's highly like underrated. Like it's not. So actually, you know what? Um, yeah. So on this page, I don't know how up to date it is, but it does look kind of right. Yeah. So if you notice, they listed the line here, and they got like market value. I think this is still accurate. Again, I don't know when this was updated. Um, but if you notice, they're like 15, $25, 20, $30, uh, $35 for Thrawn. He might be the most expensive one. Yeah, just about. So again, they're definitely like not expensive figures. Um, so if in the future somebody decides to put them all together, it's not gonna break the bank for sure. Um, they're not difficult to come by either. I've just been I didn't want to just order them, like from eBay or something. I just as I come across them, right? That's when I was picking them up. As I've told you before, I am changing a little bit my collecting habits, and instead of just ordering online, I've been trying to hunt for them. Again, whenever I come across them, if they're in good shape, of course I'll pick them up. Especially from if it's from somebody that I know or somebody local that has a store or is at a toy show. That's what I've been trying to do a lot more. So I got them all. Again, I know I have Mary Jade. It's just in a box somewhere. Um, I might try to find her, tomorrow, one last time. See if I can take her also to ICCC. Same thing, get her signed. Um, but if not, well, that's fine. At least I got my Tron. Wow, says Janine. But a recliner, dude. Right? It looks funky. I mean, come on. It looks comfortable. I mean, it looks. It's it's an interesting design. It's just there's literally nothing like in front of him. It's all to the side, so it's literally a recliner, dude. Like everything is on the back. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Again, based on concepts, right, for the movies. Um, so I like the idea of trying to use some of the sketches, some of the concepts to create the toys. It's just I feel that these three were maybe not the best choice. Uh Tom Sasuna says, awesome figure. So nice the backstory links with the movies. Yeah, so like I said, they kind of reused a lot of the elements for episode 9, right? Again, Palpatine not dead, transferred to another body decaying. He comes back with a fleet of new ships. Uh, Leia being very powerful in the Force, which again, that's not necessarily from this story. That's kind of a general known thing, even from when Lucas was working on the stories. Um, but yeah, I had hope they would have gone a different route with the whole somehow Palpatine has returned. And I'm like, we know exactly how he returned. Like we've known for 30 years. Um, you know, it anyway. Nino Grow, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining. What is going on, Archer? Appreciate you, man. How's it going? Totally does, says Janine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, but even those, they're definitely not expensive. So this whole line is just really not expensive. Um, Again, box, 22, $35. I think that's probably the most expensive one. 15, $25. Again, I don't know when they updated this website, but that still kind of feels, accurate. At least for the figures, I'm pretty sure that's around what I paid. I think most of them were like 10, $15. I think the Dark Trooper, I'd pay for like $20 for it. Man, I wish I would have written it down, but it was somewhere around there. Oh, and then for the Dark Trooper, I got it, and then this was semi recent, like a couple years back. I got it, and maybe like that same year is when the Dark Troopers come out, in Mandalorian. So I was very glad of the timing that I picked this guy up because I thought he was gonna shoot up in value. Again, I'm not sure if it did or not, just because he is kind of like the first portrayal of the Dark Trooper, right, in figure form. It'd be interesting, actually. Odds are it didn't because, again, I don't think a lot of people know about these. Or not that they don't know. I don't think that a lot of people cared about these. To be fair, we could just check on eBay. Now I'm curious. Let's check on eBay. Let's say how those Dark Trooper Dark Trooper expanded universe. Let's see what that spits out. Ah, yeah, no, they're still pretty cheap. They're like $20. Here, check it out. Oops, wrong window. Apologies for that. Yeah, see, $20, 21, 22, 25. So yeah, definitely not expensive figures. which again, kind of kind of crazy, right? Again, they've been out for a little while. Um, but just one of those sublines, I guess, that never really took off. So if you're interested in any of these, you can find them pretty easily, pretty cheaply. Um, I wonder if now I'm curious if Tron has gone up in price. Tron definitely became a lot more popular. Nope, it's still pretty cheap. $16, $22. Yeah. So I am not. I'm definitely not carrying anything like super valuable on my suitcase to ICCC. So there it is. Oh, look. So they even have seven figures. So seven of these figures for $135. Yeah, there you go. So that's only missing looks like Palpatine and the space trooper. So yeah, $135 with free shipping. Yeah, free shipping. And you get pretty much the whole collection. So there you have it. Like I said, definitely not expensive figures, but some that I regard amongst the coolest, especially coming out of the Power of the Force 2 line. Again, we all know that line had a kind of rocky history. Not a great line, but one that definitely holds nostalgia value for me. So, for all of those of you who are going to ICCC, what are you taking to get autographed? So I know Tony's taking plenty of plaques. Um, I'm like I said, I'm taking the throne for sure, and I don't know. I'm still like I said, I'm still debating on how many like autographs I'm actually gonna do. Um, I don't want to go too crazy on it, but there's definitely people that I want to meet and take a picture with. I think I'm gonna do more pictures and autographs, if I'm being honest. Let's see here. Let's check out the roster. So, as I mentioned before, Warwick Davis is a must. And also remember, guys, the website shows the prices for all of the guests. So basically, autograph, selfie photo, if they're doing it, and the pro photo op. So what we were talking about was Billy D, which is 305 for an auto and 300 for a photo op. So yeah, $600 if you want an autograph and a picture with him. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that it's not worth it or it is. That's up to each one of you to decide. Um, but he is the most expensive one by far. The next one from that I think is Warwick Davis, which again that's a must for me. I think I'm gonna do both. I think I'm gonna do photo op and autograph for that. And then what Tony was talking about is Timothy Sand. If you notice, it's $10, $10 for a non-book item. So I'm just assuming, I don't know, I'm just assuming that if you buy one of his books, he'll probably sign it for free like he did before. Again, don't quote me on that, but if he's only charging for $10 for a non-book item, then odds are, he's either charging very small amount or nothing for a book. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Great show we got coming up. Again, this is gonna be on Thursday. Um, Plenty of cool stuff to buy. They actually have some pretty cool exclusives, right, to ICCC. And I gotta tell you, their exclusives are really exclusive. Like they are low number yield of stuff. So if you're interested in anything, don't sleep on it because they will sell out. So very cool. Again, very awesome to be part of it. I will be on the podcast stage Thursday at 1:30. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be doing a live stream here on YouTube as well. Um, but yeah, I think that is gonna do it for tonight, guys. Thank you for hanging out, talking about this sort of, I don't want to say forgotten, but sort of a lesser known line, right, of figures coming out of the 90s. This was just before they started kicking it into high gear for episode one. Um, so I think that's why a lot of these flew under the radar. And again, when it comes to kids, like myself included back then, I didn't really know I didn't really know the novels. I didn't really know the comic books that well. I had read one or two comic books, but not many for sure. I was barely like getting into it. And so I think maybe that's why they didn't do good. I don't think a lot of kids knew of these characters or what these characters represented, right? Of the stories. Um, but yeah, I hope that you liked it. I hope that now at least you have a little bit of appreciation for them. Uh, Definitely not rare, definitely not expensive ones, but ones that hold a lot of nostalgia for me. So hopefully I get to show you next week how that Thrawn looks autographed. That'd be pretty cool. And so yeah, we would appreciate it if you leave us your like on this stream before you exit. Just let the mythical dude algorithm know that we are doing a good job, that we're having fun here talking about a little bit of forgotten toys from the 90s. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you check out my friend, the Dad Vader, over on Instagram, along with myself, general.kenobis.bunker on Instagram, the same way on threads, general.kenobis.bunker. We are also on Facebook, General Kenobi's Bunker, and on TikTok at General underscore Kenobi's underscore bunker. Once again, stay tuned for this week. We got ICCC happening. Definitely going to be posting a bunch of stuff. Definitely going to be hanging out. It's going to be very, very fun to see some of our friends. And just having a few drinks, talk about toys, go see some awesome toys, get to meet some awesome guests. I'm very much looking forward to it. So if you're out there, stop by, say hi, let's hang out, and let's go buy some toys together. So thanks again. Let me just catch up here with the last comments. Figure Trap saying, "Huh, good night, broski. It's been interesting and educational." Hey man, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I appreciate you, Saga. Thank you for joining. Janine saying, have fun and be safe this weekend. Absolutely. Tom saying bye. Love it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Bye, says. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. I hope that you're gonna have an awesome week. Oh, I almost forgot. So I think hopefully you're not sick of me, but I think we're gonna do a regularly scheduled high ground tomorrow. Because Wednesday night I'm gonna be running around, probably trying to find that marriage aid still. And then I gotta go to sleep pretty early because I gotta leave the house like at 4 in the morning. So probably Wednesday we won't stream. So if we do it, we'll do it tomorrow night. But again, be on the lookout on our socials. I will let you know what time and if we end up doing it tomorrow. So thanks again. I will see you on the next one. May the force be with you. This is the way. Peace out.